When we go to the first match, it is High Energy, the team of Owen Hart and Coco Beware versus the Beverly Brothers with the Genius as their manager. The Genius obviously being Leaping Lanny Poffo, the brother of Macho Man Randy Savage. Right away, there was a little nostalgic feel kind of came over me as soon as I seen High Energy coming to the ring, because that was just that look. Just kind of, to me, epitomizes the 90s. You know, they had, you know, the, like, real baggy, pulled up high MC Hammer pants with, you know, like the racing checkered flag suspenders, and it looks extremely ridiculous now. It might not have back then, but today, looking back on it, it was ridiculous. Always been a big fan of Owen Hart, so seeing him in this opening match was really nice. Owen immediately starts working the left arm, which is something that... and I'm going to talk about this kind of thing quite a bit throughout this show. Owen Hart starts working the left arm, and immediately I thought, well, it seems like you don't really see this sort of thing in today's modern wrestling. And even if you do, it's not done properly. Is the best way I can put that. When these guys would start working a body part or, you know, something like that, there was a purpose to it. There was a reason they were doing it, and they did it methodically, and there was a method to it. You know, you would go from, like, say, an arm bar to you know, some of the heels would then, you know, like drape it over the, take that arm and wrap it over the top rope, just bending it and twisting it and just, you know, really working over a body part. And it seemed like that's something that you don't really see anymore, at least not like this. So it was nice to see. The Beverly Brothers, they're obviously the heels here, and they're doing typical, you know, classic heel stuff. You know, the slicking back of the hair, the strutting, you know, around the ring, real cocky and arrogant, the, you know, running away from, you know, the baby faces, you know, etc. Once again, a problem in some wrestling products is that it's kind of hard to tell who the heels and baby faces are, which is an essential thing of if you're trying to tell a story in, you know, as far as a wrestling match goes. You need to know who is what. And it's not as clearly defined nowadays. There was this really neat, you know, like kip up bridge to, you know, test of strength by Owen Hart. It was a really cool thing to see. The crowd at one point starts chanting LOD for some reason, and they said something in the commentary about the Beverly Brothers, that, you know, that they must have been having some kind of a feud with the LOD at the time, maybe, or something. I don't know. It was really not completely defined, I don't think, but the LOD chant, I thought, in the middle of this match was a little odd, but you can't control the crowds, obviously. You actually had hand-to-hand tags, which is rare anymore in the modern, you know, wrestling product. So again, the hand-to-hand tags was nice to see. Nowadays, you get a slap on the back or the shoulder or, you know, whatever. And as far as the rules are concerned, a tag is supposed to be a hand-to-hand, you know, connection. So just to see the hand-to-hand tags, again, the way things are supposed to be done, was a nice change of pace. Let's see here. The Beverly Brothers had some, you know, classic teamwork. You know, they were cutting the ring in half. There was some double team moves on the part of the Beverly Brothers. The match starts to break down a little bit. And again, you see that in every single tag match, it seems like, anymore. But with this, the referee gets involved. Instead of like modern wrestling product today, and the referee just stands off in the corner and just lets these guys do whatever the hell they want, this referee is actually trying to restore some order, trying to, you know, grab a couple of competitors, pushing them back out of the ring, trying to get them back out of the ring, and then in turn is being distracted. And one of the Beverly brothers uses the clipboard or this scroll-looking clipboard thing that the Genius was carrying, and bashes one of the other guys, and I believe it was Owen Hart, in the head. Well, still, even in the commotion, the referee, he notices it, he sees it, and you get a DQ finish. The Beverly brothers are disqualified. And, back then, disqualification finishes were a little more common. And seeing a disqualification finish and stuff today, especially, and even like count out, victories and stuff, it's really lame. Nobody wants to see that kind of thing. But it was a lot more common then. So with that being said, I tried to just go, okay, that was kind of the thing of the times. It's just something that happened, and it happened often, or at least more often than today. But anyways, what I was getting at before I got a little sidetracked was that when the match broke down, they actually did it with the referee trying to restore order, and again, it was done the way it should have been done. So at the end of the match, there's a little bit more of a brawl. The Beverlys in high energy, a little bit more fighting before the Beverlys finally, in defeat. They end up walking off. So, overall, it was, I feel like a typical early 90s tag team match. Like, it wasn't, like blow your mind, one of the greatest matches you've ever seen, but compared to, today's modern wrestling product, the action itself was a little slow at times, but that's to be, a given. For the time period, but the way that the tag team match was structured, and that's one of the biggest problems I have with today's modern wrestling, is their tag team wrestling and how much it sucks, because there's no rhyme or reason for doing the things that they're doing. There's no structure. There's no, I forget the word that I'm looking for, but it's like they forgot how to do tag team matches, and this right here was an example of how it should have been structured and done.